it's whiteboard time again with your professor Jim Knight, Jimmy the Greek, and we're going to do second declension nouns right now. Second declension nouns are nouns that are masculine and or neuter, and their stem ends in an omicron, an omicron. So I'm going to start with the masculines, okay? So let me go singular, plural, nominative, genitive, dative, and accusative. And the example I'm going to use for you is the word for word, logos. So, logos, okay, that's the nominative singular, logos. The genitive is logu. The dative is logo with the iota subscript, and the accusative is logon. Okay, those are the singular forms. Notice the omicron on the stem here and the endings. So a sigma ending, an upsilon ending. This omicron lengthens to an omega and the iota subscripts underneath. The iota is singular, so it's logo. And the accusative is the omicron, the last vowel in the stem, and a noon. Okay? Logos, logu, logo, logon. Okay? Okay? Those are your singular forms. And now let's jump over to the plural forms. Okay? So the plural forms, plural nominative is logoi. The genitive plural is logon. The dative plural is logois. And the accusative plural is logus. Okay? So what are the endings? An iota on the end, and again, like all the genitive plurals, we see that omega noon. That omega noon. Again, the omega noon comes along and knocks off everything else and just goes on the end. The dative plural is iota sigma, just gets stuck on the end of the stem. And then the accusative plural is upsilon sigma. Okay? So singular forms, logos, logu, logo, logon. Plural forms, logoi, logon, logois, and logus. So that is an example of a second declension noun, and that's masculine. Okay. All second declension nouns that are masculine will follow this pattern. So you can put in another second declension noun like theos, God, and that will follow the same pattern. Okay? So once you learn this pattern, you know it for every second declension masculine noun. Okay? So, hi, it's whiteboard time with your professor, Jim Knight, Jimmy the Greek. And now I'm going to show you the paradigm for a second declension noun that is neuter. A second declension noun that is neuter. So, here we go. So, singulars here, plurals here, and I'll put the different case names right here. So, nominative, genitive, dative, and accusative. Okay? So singulars and plurals, nominative, genitive, dative, accusative. And the word I'm going to use for our example is work. And you're probably going to be doing a lot of work with Greek this term. So it's an appropriate word. So that word is ergon. Ergon. That's the word for work, where we get the English term ergonomics. Ergon. So the genitive is ergu. So that's the nominative. So sorry, go back to the nominative. Nominative ergon ends. Notice it ends with a nu. Okay. Ergu. Okay. The dative singular is ergo. Iota subscript, and the accusative singular is er gone. Okay? So, like the masculine forms, the thing that ties these second declensions together is the fact that their stem vowels end with this omicron. But the neuter forms differ from the masculine forms in this nominative and ends with a nu. Okay? Ends with a nu. Remember, logos ended with a sigma. So that's how you're going to tell the difference between a second declension masculine from a second declension neuter. It's neuter singular form, which is the dictionary form. The masculines will end in a sigma. The neuters will end in a nu. Okay, so maybe think neuter, nu. That might help you, right? And also notice that the nominative form is exactly the same as the accusative form. Okay, that's another helpful hint that these are the same. And again, how do we tell the difference when these two forms occur in a text? Again, context. The nominatives will always be acting as the subject. The accusative will be acting as the direct object. And again, contextually, you should be able to see that. Okay. Okay. And also notice that the genitive and the dative singular forms are exactly the same as what we saw in the masculine form. So that's where the pattern conforms generally in second declension. These forms are basically the same. Let's pop over and look at the plural forms now. So the plural forms, the plural, nominative plural is not egg raw, but erga, erga with an alpha. Okay. The genitive plural is ergon. The dative plural is ergois, and the accusative plural is ergon. Okay, so again, notice that the nominative and the accusative forms are exactly the same, and the dative, the dative and the genitive forms in the plural are just like what we saw in the masculine second declension nouns, ergon and ergois. Plus, added to that, we're beginning to see that the omega noon at the end of the genitive plural is kind of carries over for both first and second declension. And the good news is when we get to third declension, we'll see this same thing. The genitive plural, omega noon. Okay, that tells you the genitive plural. So that's about it. That's your second declension neuter paradigm. Okay. Until next time, this is Jim Knight, Jimmy the Greek, signing off.